Flames are tearing through the Spanish landscape at this very moment, leaving behind a trail of ash, devastation, and heartbreak. Across multiple regions of Spain, wildfires have erupted with terrifying speed and ferocity, forcing thousands of residents to abandon their homes in the middle of the night, grabbing only what they can carry. Emergency services are stretched to their absolute limits. Firefighters are battling walls of fire that seem to grow faster than they can be contained, and aerial units are making relentless drops of water and fire retardant over hillsides that glow orange against the darkened sky. This is not a distant threat. This is happening right now, and the scale of destruction is staggering. The fires are currently most intense in the regions of Catalonia, Valencia, and Castile and Leon, areas that have historically been vulnerable to summer blazes but are now facing conditions far beyond what local infrastructure was built to handle. In Catalonia, flames have consumed thousands of hectares of forest and farmland, with several small towns placed under immediate evacuation orders. The region of Valencia, still recovering emotionally and physically from devastating floods just months ago, is now confronting a fire emergency that has pushed its emergency response teams to their breaking point. Castile and Leon, one of Spain's largest inland regions, is seeing fires spread rapidly across dry grasslands and pine forests, driven by winds that are shifting unpredictably and making it nearly impossible for ground crews to establish effective fire breaks. Behind every headline and every aerial photograph is a human story. Families are being evacuated from villages that have existed for centuries. Elderly residents who have lived their entire lives in these communities are being helped into buses and cars, looking back at the smoke rising over their homes with expressions of disbelief and grief. Temporary shelters have been set up in sports halls, schools, and community centres across affected provinces, where displaced residents are being provided with food, water, and medical attention. At least several injuries have been reported among both civilians and firefighting personnel, and authorities have confirmed that the death toll is being actively monitored as search and rescue teams move through areas that were cut off by the advancing flames. The emotional weight of this disaster is immeasurable. Meteorologists and fire scientists are pointing to a combination of factors that have created what experts are calling a perfect storm for wildfire ignition and spread. Spain has been experiencing an extended period of extreme heat, with temperatures in several inland regions climbing well above 40 degrees Celsius for consecutive days. Rainfall has been significantly below average for months, leaving vegetation bone dry and extraordinarily combustible. Wind speeds have been elevated across much of the peninsula, and the humidity levels have dropped to critically low percentages that accelerate fire behavior dramatically. Climate scientists have been warning for years that southern Europe would face increasingly severe fire seasons as global temperatures continue to rise, and what is happening in Spain right now is being described by some researchers as a direct and visible consequence of long-term climate change patterns. Spain's national government has mobilized significant resources in response to the crisis. The military emergency unit, known in Spanish as the Unidad Militar de Emergencias, has been deployed across multiple fire fronts, working alongside regional firefighting brigades, civil protection volunteers, and international support teams. Aircraft from neighboring European countries have been dispatched under the European Union's civil protection mechanism, with water-bombing planes arriving from France, Italy, and Portugal to assist with aerial firefighting operations. Ground crews are working in rotating shifts around the clock, often in temperatures that make the physical demands almost unbearable. The Spanish Prime Minister has addressed the nation, expressing solidarity with affected communities and pledging that all necessary resources will be made available without delay. Amid the devastation, there are remarkable stories of resilience and community spirit. Local farmers have used their own tractors and equipment to help create fire breaks around villages. Volunteers have shown up in enormous numbers at evacuation centers, donating food, clothing, and supplies. Neighbors are checking on neighbors, and social media is being used to coordinate real-time information sharing among residents trying to track the movement of the fires and locate missing family members. These acts of solidarity, small and large, are a powerful reminder that even in the face of catastrophic loss, communities find ways to hold together and support one another through the darkest moments. As firefighters continue their exhausting battle and displaced families wait anxiously for news, the coming days will be critical. Weather forecasts suggest that wind conditions may ease slightly in some areas, which could give crews a narrow window to make meaningful progress in containing the largest fire fronts. However, the heat is expected to persist, and the risk of new ignitions remains extremely high. Spain is facing a long road to recovery, and the fires burning across its landscape right now are a stark and urgent reminder of the growing threat that climate-driven wildfires pose to communities, ecosystems, and lives across the entire continent.